Hi Stain, I hope I'm pronouncing that all right. So here's your past life spread. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at where we are, what you did with the majority of your time, an important day, another important day, the death, and the lesson learned. And we're going to get hits of time, of the time period throughout. And I'm just going to tell you what I get as far as, images or impressions and how they connect with the cards. And we're going to see a past life that you can probably be able to make connections with. That's what we're looking for. And so we're going to start with where we were. And so here is the island card. And that can mean a bunch of things. It's not necessarily like Hawaii, it's not exactly the Hawaiian Islands or the typical kind of islands, but I'm getting like a feeling of it being with where Cuba is, or in those islands where Cuba is. It's just like, it's just what it feels like is Cuba. So if you have a connection, your job is to make connections throughout this. So you might have a connection, for example, to Cuba, or being on an island, like you love islands as far as your favorite vacation place, or maybe you have island decor that you like around you, or maybe you're someone that likes the water. Just like, keep that in mind. And so, that goes along with it, I feel like right here is what you do with the majority of your time. And this is the con card. And I feel like there's this like big, wealthy mafia family feel to this thing that's going on. Not necessarily that, I mean, you might be part of the family, but it's almost like, I feel like you're someone that works for the family. Like, it's kind of like a position of respect, but it's also like, this is illegal, what you do. I feel like it has to do with like, money laundering of some sort. I just feel like it's kind of like mafia, but in Cuba, if that makes sense. So I don't know if there's like these big family name gangsters or something that might be known there, or might have been known there during this time. And I feel like this is not too far past. I feel like this is almost like late 1800s, honestly, like the turn of the century, or right before that, just like in the mid to late 1800s at least, in that area. That's what it feels like, because I'm seeing clothing like really old, like people dressed up old fashioned, but it's a very Cuba feel, and it's like, it just feels very old fashioned in that way. But like, where, they had cameras at this point, so we would be able to see pictures of this. Like, basically, if we could get a name, or we know who this person is, we could probably find him in the, like, photographs or something. Like, I feel like he was part of a huge crime family, and there was just, like, a lot of stuff going on that's just totally illegal. And, like, but where the government's in on it, too. So it's like, yeah, it just seems like very big time. That's like what I get the feel of. Okay, so the first important day. Oh, and that can pertain to you if you feel like you're someone that can take care of your problems really easily, and someone, maybe you stand up for yourself and it feels natural to do that. Someone who's strategic, who is, here's the thing, it's almost like you can be smooth talking, but like not necessarily like sly, but like just charming. Like, so if you're someone who you can like realize if you have like charisma or certain kind of charm, that can pertain to you too. Just how it feels like it's connected to this card. So keep that in mind. Now, the first important day, we're looking at this move, move, move card. Let's go, let's go. And the relationship involved with the move, move, move card is the spousal card, which is really interesting. And then the feeling is content, or yeah, it's content. So I feel like what this pertains to, honestly, is like, because I feel like this isn't the day you met your spouse or anything. I feel like you've had you're a guy here, by the way. This is okay, so this is a male life. And I feel like your spouse has been with you for a while, and she's kind of in this crime family as well. And so that actually makes it for a very smooth marriage. And I feel like you guys, it's not just like one day. of moving. I feel like there's actually something literally where you kind of island hop or city hop. I feel like you're someone that is stationed somewhere to kind of watch and gather information, if that makes sense. So how that might speak to you is you might be a really good researcher in this life. If you consider yourself a good researcher or you like to research, or also if you are kind of like comfortable, it can go either way. So you can be comfortable with the idea of getting up and moving and find it exciting and adventurous, or you can be someone who actually just wants to be settled down because you moved in this life, you moved. It seemed like you really didn't have a permanent base. So, yeah, you can be either someone that wants to settle down or someone that likes kind of like the moving around nomadic lifestyle. And so it was a feeling of contentedness when you did this, but I also feel like there is something with like being attached to the family, having that responsibility, just like maybe you're someone that doesn't like really dislikes the feeling of owing someone something, or maybe you're someone that you might be someone that likes secrets or hates secrets. Like there's something about secrets that might be something that calls to you. Like if that rings a bell, keep that in mind. And so the next important day we have Mother Nature. So this is when something is happening, like a natural disaster of some sort, mixed with the karmic card. And the feeling is loneliness. And it's interesting, what's coming through for this one is kind of weird. It's like something happens. I feel like you eventually get to the point in your life where you're like, I don't want to be part of this, but you're like very rooted deep in it, but you want to get out of it at this point, because I feel like at this point we're even looking that you have like children involved and you have like this full family and you've like realized the risk isn't worth this. So you and your family, I feel like something happens where it looks like you guys died in like a fire or something that happened, or you guys drowned. Like I feel like I feel like it was almost orchestrated that something looked like it killed you, like you died from something, all of you, and instead you got away. And I feel like this broke the karmic circle. Like this karma card, I feel like represents the family, that family. And so what this might mean to you in your current life is that either one, you have a really, really close bond with your family, or two, you have a lot of family issues. And maybe you're someone that is asked for help a lot by family, or you do a lot for family, and so it's either you can love that or it can be a burden to you, depending on what you took away from this life. And the feeling was loneliness afterwards when you just kind of left it. And it was an interesting feeling for you because you didn't expect to feel lonely, but the detachment from them was lonely because they were kind of your only source for socializing and stuff. So I feel like, I don't know, it was almost like running away. This day is like a running away day. Like you got away, you ran away, and it's what you wanted, but it was like weird mixed torn feelings. So, I mean, you might be someone that maybe like what bothers you a lot is the idea of like, I don't know, like if like abandonment, like reading articles of like abandonment or something like that with children might trigger something with you. You might get emotional about certain topics that have to do with like the disbanding of a family. If family issues are like a big deal to you, that could stem from this. If they're very meaningful to you. Like basically if they get emotional, if they make you emotional, like a trigger. So like that level of it. Okay, so we're going to the death here. The death, I feel, is just, this card means a natural death, and I feel like you do die in your natural sleep, but I feel like it actually is because it's not that you're an old man, it's that I feel like you make it into your like mid to late 60s here, and you die of like natural causes. Like I think your heart stops, whatever it is, it's in your sleep. So the issue though was because you were really unhealthy. Like this seems like you were just really like out of shape, unhealthy, and so in your current life, if you have issues with your weight, if you're, I mean, that can mean anything. It can mean that you want to lose weight, or that you are a fit person because you just don't want to, deal with your weight, like you take care of yourself, or you don't, like, see how it can work either way. It can also mean that, depending on your age, like, there's like this theory about the death of a past life affecting you at a certain age here, not causing death or anything, but like just opening up like a new like emotional perspective for you, can hit you around your mid to late 60s. So keep that in mind. Otherwise, I don't know what else. You might have stomach issues. You might have like, if you have sleep issues too, because you died in your sleep. So that could, if you do have sleep issues, like sleep apnea or things like that, it can stem from that. And then the lesson was enlightenment, which is really awesome, because you totally gained enlightenment when you realized that this life of crime and violence and such was not for you, and you wanted to get out because you wanted to like give your family a better kind of foundation, like just something more wholesome, I guess. And that in itself was enlightenment, because you were like thinking of others, and you wanted to improve your life and the life of the ones you loved, and you didn't have to hurt anybody to do it. So we see like your soul kind of take a more gentler vibe here, like where it shies away from violence, like which means in this life you might be someone that it could be an adrenaline junkie, because here you went gentler, and the way and you might have like not aggressive urges, but because of how it was before, it might be coming through in more aggressive ways, which could mean just an adrenaline junkie, someone who likes that kind of thing. So just keep that in mind. It might not be the case, but just keep it in mind. And so, yeah, I feel like that was a really interesting read, because just to let you know, I'm seeing like a really nicely dressed, like this person is very nicely dressed, like with the jacket and the suit kind of look, but back then, like, and what would be more like kind of linen-y or something, whatever they use in Cuba, it just feels very Cuban. What else? Yeah, it has like a weird like cowboys in the West kind of vibe. That's what it feels like we're in an old Western right now. That's the vibe of it. But instead it's in Cuba. That's what it really feels like. So yeah. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks for letting me read you.